KREM 2 News at Noon begins now.
If you have a trip coming up planned to take to the skies, you may want to keep an eye on your flight plans. Coming up, what impacts travelers could see with mass cancellations starting today.
We may very well get a good chance to dry out, but the windy conditions still remain this Friday.
Taking a look back at Election Day, this year may have been one of the lowest voter turnouts in Washington. Why experts are saying this is the case. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on KREM 2 News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti. And we begin this afternoon by taking a look outside, joining Thomas Patrick in the Outdoor Weather Center. Thomas, what can folks expect today? And boy, we either have a very dirty lens or a sun flare. I'm not sure what's happening.
That is definitely the sun flare that you're seeing, because I can tell that the direct sunlight behind me is aimed basically right at that camera lens. Funny enough, this camera does point directly south, and since it's exactly noon, yeah, it is directly in the lens. So apologies for that, but realize that it's nice to even have the sun in the first place. The only thing is you're probably hearing a bit of wind through my microphone right now. It is still very breezy. Basically, the storm that passed through came through 12 hours ago, and it's cleared Montana by this point. So these winds have been decently fierce, especially at that point of attack late last night. But even right now, we still have 25-mile-per-hour winds, more than a noticeable breeze outside. Thankfully, it should not get much stronger than that today. So yes, it is windy and breezy, but no, it's not going to do anything more than maybe knock down a couple more leaves to the ground by the time the day is through. Temperatures aren't too bad. I think the sunshine is helping us out. It's 50 up at Whitworth, 50 at Liberty Lake, most everywhere else in the upper 40s, and we'll probably climb a couple more degrees. The good news this weekend is the winds calm and we stay dry. This is one of our first completely dry weekends that we've had in a month's time now, I think. If anything, it might just be a little bit of some morning fog. So coming up, I'll show you exactly when these winds will finally die down and when those next reasonable rain chances will be, even though they're not until next week. So those details are coming up.
All right, my friend, thank you. A near county-wide power outage is affecting Ferry County right now. The sheriff's office says the outage happened sometime around 9 o'clock last night. And as of now, there is no update as to what caused that outage or when power should be restored. The sheriff's office said the outage will impact most of the county, or was impacting most of the county earlier today. Officials are reminding folks you do not need to call to report the outage. At least don't call 911. They're asking everyone to keep phone lines open and only call 911 if it is indeed a true emergency. This is developing right now. Expect delays and canceled flights if you plan on flying today and throughout the weekend. Starting today, the FAA is gradually rolling out cuts at airports nationwide, and that does include at SeaTac. King 5 Savannah Welch has a look at what travelers can expect.
Passengers will want to check with their airline to see if their flight has been impacted before heading to the airport. Here at SCA, we haven't seen too many major impacts, although TSA has been fairly busy throughout the morning. There have been about 27 cancellations through the last couple of hours, and we're hearing about long lines and major delays at other airports. That could be a big problem for people with connecting flights. Nationwide, more than 800 flights are canceled this morning as airlines start cutting service to relieve pressure on air traffic control. Delta says it's scrapping about 170 flights today. American says it's cutting about 220 flights a day through Monday. Alaska says it's canceling a limited number of flights but doesn't expect international routes to be impacted. We talked to several passengers, including one man driving 12 hours from Montana to Seattle to make Sunday's game.
We have tickets to Cardinal Seahawks on Sunday, so we didn't want to risk losing those. So we were coming either way.
We were nervous. That's why we're here extra early today. Hawaii's not a terrible place to get stuck, but we don't want to get stuck away from our dog and away from our home. So we're hopeful we'll be able to get back on Tuesday.
The FAA says the cut start at about 4% today and will ramp up to 10% by November 14th to give airlines time to adjust. Major airlines, including United, Alaska, Delta, and American, say they'll offer refunds if you decide not to fly, even if your ticket normally isn't refundable. SCA is also collecting donations for workers. Those include non-perishable food items and essential items as well. You can drop those off at the SCA Conference Center lobby any weekday, Monday to Friday. At SCA Airport, Savannah Welch, King 5 News.
And since we last checked, at least 4 flights scheduled between Spokane and Seattle had already been canceled, and we'll certainly keep an eye on that. The Spokane International Airport releasing a statement about the reductions. They are encouraging passengers to double check their flights before heading to the airport. So if you're flying today or soon, here's what you need to know. Experts say keep an eye on your departure and your airline's app for any changes. They say carriers will likely try to keep their hub-to-hub operation. So they suggest travelers with regional flights consider driving to a different city or buying a backup ticket. Several airlines are letting passengers change their flights for free. And if you are planning to buy a ticket soon, it is best to buy directly from the airlines and avoid layovers if at all possible. Here's an update on the Spokane City Council District 1 race. Incumbent Jonathan Bingle's lead is getting smaller. Right now, Bingle is just 68 votes ahead of Sarah Dixon. We'll keep you updated as more votes continue to be counted. Well, it looks like Washington State actually had a very low voter turnout for this week's general election. This happens often on off years like this one, mostly because of election fatigue and the fact that it's an odd-numbered year. Washington had its lowest primary turnout in 2021 and its lowest general election turnout 2 years later. Analysts say, again, that's because most local races happen in odd-numbered years, and that means fewer voters show up. And this year is looking about the same, even right here in Spokane. Election officials say they are expecting about 45% turnout once they get all the ballots counted.
Yeah, turnout for this election is right on track with past similar elections. So when we look at 2019 and when we look at 2021, we're right in line for seeing results or turnout being the same.
So here's what they're looking to do. Experts say they are looking to move city, county, and school board races to even years so they're on the same ballot as the big national races. Legislatures have tried to do this before, but so far has not passed. Well, as the days get colder, holiday marketplaces are returning this weekend. Coming up in 2 minutes, we'll take a look at the crafts made by local artists.